So I was minding my own business on YouTube when I see in the corner of my recommendations from the Learning Channel or TLC, man sexually attracted to balloons on My Strange Addiction. I had to check it out.
My name is Julius. I'm 62 years old and I'm addicted to balloons.
Like, my guy, balloons? You could have any inanimate object you wanted, and you picked a fucking balloon. Also, why does this guy look exactly like the way I thought he was going to clicking into the video? You know, a dude who clearly hasn't exactly been around the block when it comes to a social standpoint, to the point where he has to rely on balloons for his own satisfaction. Like, what goes through a person's mind to get that desperate? You know what I mean? Like, how many rejections do you have to take before you just say, fuck it, I'm gonna go for a balloon and no one's gonna stop me at this point?
Intellectually, I know that balloons are not alive, but sometimes I wonder if it's my love for them that brings them to life.
Intellectually, I know that my Xbox controller isn't alive either. However, my love for it still doesn't bring it to life. You know why? Because it's a damn Xbox controller. It doesn't have a pulse. It's not living. Stop trying to use your logic to justify why you're trying to bang a balloon, because it doesn't work. When I hear attracted to a balloon, that's when my mind stops. You can't logically justify being attracted to an inanimate object, let alone a balloon. So stop trying to use this to justify the fact that you're balloon crazed and you're addicted to the point where you need clinical help. But in all seriousness, I hope this guy did get the help that he needs, because when you have an addiction that is this controlling on your life, you need someone to intervene, because it's at the point where it is genuinely unhealthy for you.
This is my balloon sanctuary. I have magenta, purple, yellow, blue, red, and clear. And wherever I have a white one, I don't have many white ones, but I try to put the white ones in there, like there's a white one over there.
I can only imagine the camera crew's reaction when he told them with a straight face that he has a literal balloon sanctuary, opposed to a living room, a family room, a nice backyard. Nah, he says, hey, come upstairs, come to my freaking balloon sanctuary, because it is a vibe and a half up in this room, let me tell you.
My love for balloons, it's also a sexual love. When I see a beautiful balloon, my heart starts to flutter and I get aroused. I'll take a 12-inch and I'll inflate it to 11-inch. That way it can take a lot of abuse.
Whoa, okay, so let me unpack this really quick. So first, he confirmed that he has a sexual relationship with this balloon. So imagine what this guy would do if he found out that Party City existed. You know, the store that's full of balloons. I hope for the sake of good people that he doesn't figure this out, because I think cops would legitimately be called. Also, this man said he gets butterflies in his stomach whenever he sees a, quote, beautiful balloon, quote. So imagine you're at a bar, you know, you're trying to pick up this chick, and you see my guy Julius over here just hitting on the birthday balloon of the local Monica, you know, celebrating her birthday at the bar. And then Julius is over here not trying to get the birthday girl, he's going for that balloon, baby. And you know, it's a 12-incher, so naturally he fills that up to 11 inches so this balloon can take a beating. Cause you know, I think Julius is a little rough on these things, so he prepares them adequately, which I gotta give my boy props for. But can we just ignore the fact that this man has legitimate sexual relationships with a balloon? Like, again, how many rejections do you have to take to actual people to turn into that balloon hobby? And also, one more thing, how did this even start? Like, was he a teenager and he was just curious, fooling around one day? Like, I want to know the origin story of this, because, like, I feel like that'd be a better video than this actual TLC thing themselves. Screw the My Strange Addiction. I want the Julius origin story of how he discovered his superpower of being sexually intrigued by balloons.
There's lots of people out there that feel the same way as I do about balloons. But there's two groups of the lunar group. You got the poppers that get aroused by popping balloons, and you got your non-poppers.
Hey, shout out to all the looners who watch my videos. Comment down below if you're in the popper gang or the non-popper gang, like my boy Julius. I personally am not a looner, but if you are, tell me what that's like down below. Anyway, we're talking about looners, and my boy Julius is the poster child for all the looners out there. You know, the looners who are a little too scared to come out to the public. Julius is carrying you on his back. My boy is out here carrying for every single looner. He is your guys' face. He is your community leader. Bow down to Julius like he is a god among the looners.
Julius's addiction to balloons started when he was hospitalized at just 4 years old.
My mother come to visit one time, and she gave me a real nice blue balloon. But that night, the nurse grabbed it, and I heard the balloon pop. So after she left, I just cried myself to sleep.
Yes, thank you, TLC. This is the origin story that I was looking for. This is what we call quality content. So, at the ripe old age of 4 years old, Julius was sent to the hospital. However, this was actually a blessing in disguise because this is where he discovered himself. This is where he figured out that he was a non-popper when the nurse popped his blue balloon and he cried himself to sleep. From there on out, at the ripe old age of 4-year-old, Julius identified as a non-popper. My boy was a loomer from the ripe old age of 4. Take back everything about rejections that I've said. This man probably hasn't even asked out a female because he's so satisfied with the balloons that he has. And for that, I gotta give Julius props because my boy was out here playing at the age of 4 years old. What were you doing it for? Because my man's Julius found his identity.
But Julius doesn't share his extreme love for balloons with many people.
The only people that know him is my family. My wife thinks it's strange, but she accepts it.
Hold on. My man has a wife? Shout out to my man Julius, because I thought earlier in the video that he was getting rejected, but nah. My man is a literal Chad. He's getting the wives, he's getting the birthday balloons. I don't think there's anything that would say no to this divine man. However, if I'm his wife, and no disrespect to Julius or his wife, by the way, but I'd be gone in a heartbeat, because in no universe ever am I going to be a second priority to a literal balloon. There are going to be nights where Julius would rather have his balloon sanctuary than me, and with me, that would be a no-fly zone. So shout out to his wife for sticking around. However, the fact that she refused to include herself in filming means that Julius probably needs to spend a little bit less time in his balloon sanctuary and a little more time with his actual wife. You know what I mean? Also, does Julius like sleep in his balloon sanctuary, or does she like sleep in her own bed? Like, what's the deal going on there? These are more questions that I want to know, and I want an interview with this woman because I want to know what it's like marrying a dude that not only likes you, but literal balloons as well, because that will be a good interview. TLC, you hit it for the first time with the background story. Can you do it again?
Today, his nephew, who's also an addiction counselor, wants to confront the issue and convince Julius to see a therapist.
Okay, wait, hold up. Your nephew's an addiction counselor and this conversation hasn't happened before? I mean, I don't know how to feel about TLC here because, like, they're getting him the help that he needs, but, like, they're televising him and putting him to a public audience, which, I mean, seems like a little bit like exploitation, but, I mean, you gotta consider the amount of money that Julius is probably gonna make. But anyway, his nephew's an addiction counselor. Why hasn't this conversation happened before? You know what I mean? Like, come on, Julius. You don't need a national stage in order to help you with this issue. This conversation could have gone in private, and this episode didn't even need to happen. However, I'm glad that it did, because this has been absolutely amazing to react to so far.
So how long have you been doing? How many years altogether do you have collecting these balloons?
Oh, collecting them, I started when I was about 8.
Okay, all right. So you're 62 now, so that's what, 40
years.
Wow.
Okay, Big J, don't lie to your nephew. You said in your origin story that you realized when you were 4. So you're telling me it took you 4 years to actually act on it? Yeah, I smell bullshit. Also, you've been doing this for 50 years. How does the general public not know about this? Like, I feel like at some point it would have come up in some conversation, you know what I mean? Also, I love how the nephew's just like, wow at the end. Like, he has the self-realization moment that this guy's so far down the drain that, like, it's almost like he can't be helped at this point, or he doesn't even want to be helped. So, shout out to the nephew for at least trying to help my boy Jay.
Have you ever thought about going and talking to somebody about it?
I don't have a problem.
Right.
So why be concerned? Everybody's trying to make me think like I got a problem. I don't.
Yeah.
Give it up.
I hate to burst your bubble, Julius, but in my professional opinion, you have a problem. Not every single person has over 50,000 balloons in their household and is sexually attracted to literally all of them, my friend. I think the first thing you need to do is realize that you have the teensiest bit of a problem and then actually try and get some help. Talk to a professional that isn't your nephew, and maybe you can actually get some improvement on what you have right now if you even want it, but what it looks like right now is that you don't. So if you're content, I guess you're content, my friend.
Would you be willing to go and talk to somebody.
Okay. I've seen a psychologist before, and about the only thing he said to me is, well, you're not hurting anybody, so why worry about it? I see nothing wrong with loving balloons, and I'm going to continue to love balloons because that's what makes me happy.
I like how they have this big dramatic effect just for Julius to go and agree with him. Like, if that isn't TV, then I don't know what TV is, and TLC is amazing for providing content. I'm still a little bit salty that we didn't get that wife interview at the end, but at the end of the day, what are you gonna do? We got the origin story, so I'm cool with that. But then Julius just shits on the psychologist at the last part, which directly contradicts what he just did, but it's whatever, it's all good. At the end of the day, Julius is a happy man, and that's really all I can say. So if you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. You already know what to do. Brady from V3 out, everybody. Peace and stay safe.